Legendary.
Welcome to another Top 5 with Crystal5. Today we will talk about the top 5 decks for Legend and Saviors of Uldum. The meta is starting to take shape, but it would still be a good idea to wait before crafting expensive decks, especially if you have dust issues. In this video I will show you what are the best performing decks so far. I will give you an overview of each deck, their win rates, and a mulligan guide for each deck too. If you find this information helpful, a like and subscribe would really help me out, so I can keep making more videos like this one. Now let's get into the video. Before we get into the new decks, I would like to share with you the old meta decks that still work in the current expansion as well. So far, the old Control Warrior, Murloc Shaman, Mech Hunter, Cyclone Mage, Tempo Rogue and Token Druid all seem to be doing very well in the current meta, with minor inclusions of new cards. Personally, I don't find it too appealing to see old meta decks in the new expansion, but I can't blame you if you want to save your dust till the meta actually settles. These decks will work great for you in the ongoing Brawlzeum too, so I'd say it would be a very good idea if you try to farm it as much as you can even with these old decks. It is just super beneficial to play Brawlzeum instead of Ranked right now, because you just need 3 wins to be even in it, and the rewards go quite high if you manage to go over 7 wins. Anyway, now let's see the new decks. I'm gonna start off with the deck I have been playing the most so far, Murloc Paladin. As soon as I picked this deck up, I managed to pull off a 12-win Brawlzeum and 2 more with 9 wins after that, so the deck is quite effective. It can high roll very hard, and even if it doesn't, it curves out pretty nicely most of the time. As long as you're not super unlucky and draw both your Tip the Scales and Nomi in your starting hand, you should be good against most decks. A lot of people don't know why Zephyr and Finley are in this deck, so let me explain. Sir Finley is there just because he is a good 2-drop Murloc. You will almost never use him for the upgraded hero power, and even if you do, it wouldn't matter too much. You just want to play him on curve and draw him with the scales. If you don't own him, don't bother crafting him, and just use a Salad Sprite or some other Murloc. For Zephyrus, it's a different story. Here, you want to use this guy after you've used your Tip the Scales and you have drawn your duplicate cards. Usually that would happen even before turn 10, since you draw your deck super aggressively. He will find lethal for you quite often with Savage Roars, Bloodlusts or just your ordinary Fireball. Just don't expect him to give you Bloodlust if you won't get lethal from that. He will never give you those if it wouldn't be lethal, and I think he doesn't count the 0 attack tokens and heroes for those spells as well, so don't be surprised if that happens. Chef Nomi is also pretty good in some matchups, where the opponent deals with your small Murloc boards, but can't handle with the fat 6/6s. It's quite effective against warriors, since they will probably just warpath your early boards and tip the scales, so the Nomi is usually enough for them after that, as long as you manage to bait out their brawls. I know it sounds hard versus Control Warriors, but I'm actually 9 wins and 1 loss against them, so it's easier than you think. For the matchups, you don't really have that many hard ones. Token Druid can be a problem since they can have stickier boards than you, and same goes for Murloc Shaman as well, but that one is quite rare. With the other classes, you should be in a good spot. For the mulligan, you always keep your Tide Caller and Murmy, but most importantly, your Prismatic Lens. This card can single-handedly win you the game, so it's very important to keep it. Keeping 2 drops and 3 drops is also not that bad if you already have a 1 drop, so you can curve out nicely. But if you don't have a 1 drop, you should probably mulligan everything away, just so you can get the 1 drops and the lens. Is it worth the craft? Well, it's quite fun and easy to play, so if you can afford it, sure. Chef Nomi is a really niche card though, so if you don't have that and you have dust issues, maybe you should look for something else. If Murlocs aren't your thing, you can go ahead and check out the Quest Paladin instead. Dexter just put out a video about that deck and he got Legend with it, so go ahead and check that one out for some Reborn shenanigans. Next we have Combo Priest. This deck rose in power very quickly after the new expansion and is currently considered tier 1 from rank 5 to Legend. It feels very strong and it's not easy playing against it. It runs the Combo Priest core from previous expansions, but it got some pretty good cards from the new expansion as well. High Priest Ammit is a very good legendary for this deck, and if it sticks, things go out of hand pretty quickly. Injured Tol'Vir helps out a lot as a solid 2-drop, and it is amazing if you manage to stick a Cleric on turn 1 and follow up with this, so you can get your draw going on. The Ritualist also does a good job, and the Psycho Pump does wonders as well. For the matchups, you don't really have bad ones. Everything is in the green, so as long as you know what you're doing, you should be favored. For the mulligan, you always want your Clerics, Tol'Virs and Light Wardens. If you already have 1 or 2 minions, you can keep Power Word Shield, Extra Arms and even High Priest Ammit. Psycho Pump is also not a bad keep against slower opponents. Overall, this is a cheap and very strong deck for not that much dust, so if you want to try something new without breaking the bank, I'd say this deck is quite worth it for you. Moving down to Control Warrior. Yeah folks, Control Warrior is still tier 1. Like I said, the old Control Warrior still has a really good win rate, but you can make it even better with a few of the new cards as well. The new Warrior legendary, Armageddillo, gives the deck some more power, buffing up taunt minions turn after turn, and the Reckless Mummy proves to be very strong early game clear as well. Frightened Flunky gives you more early game, serving as a cheap Stonehill defender, and Tomb Warden can be quite the powerhouse for you as well. I do feel Blizzard will finally address Dr. Boom with the usual post-expansion nerfs in about 3 or 4 weeks, but they might decide to sleep on it once more. For the matchups, your only bad ones are Quest Paladin and Dragon Mage. The value those two have is just too much for your slow playstyle, so if you're seeing too many of those, you might want to switch. For the mulligan, Rover, Towncrier and Flunky are always nice keeps. Keeping Dr. Boom is never a bad idea as well, since he can single-handedly carry games for you. Other than that, depending on your matchups, you should keep a few reactive cards, so you can drag out the game. You have so many of those, so just decide which one will work for your current matchup and keep that. Against lower opponents, Super Collider is an excellent keep as well. Is it worth crafting this deck? If you didn't craft it by now, I'd say probably not. Chances are high it would receive a nerf, and it's quite expensive too. If you do craft it, prepare for long games and a lot of rage friend ads. Next we have Mage with 3 different decks: Control Mage, Big Spell Mage and Dragon Mage. All of these seem to be doing good, and they're all pretty expensive, so it really comes down to the one you have the most cards for, if you really have your mind set on Mage. Currently, Control Mage seems to take the cake with the highest win rate for a Mage deck, so let's concentrate on that. It's a Highlander deck, which makes it extremely expensive, closing in on 20k dust, so it's obviously not for everybody, but it's quite powerful. It includes 10 legendary cards, but the games with it are quite fun and you need to make a ton of decisions with it. I did try it out in the Brawlasium, but got only 5 wins with it, so the deck takes some time getting used to, and there are a lot of tricks and synergies with this deck you need to know so you can play it optimally. The matchups are mostly in the green, with the exception of Mech and Secret Hunter, but those are close to 50% as well, so it's not that big of a deal. For the mulligan, you should always try to keep the Galaxy no matter what your opponent is. Most of your early drops are worth the keep too. With 30 different cards in your deck, it's quite hard getting specific cards for you, but most of your 4 mana or less cards should do it for you. Is it worth crafting this deck? Not unless you have 20k dust just lying around. It's very expensive and not at all easy to pilot as well. It's very strong and very fun to play, but with a price like that, I'd expect Reno to bring me a beverage of my choosing before each game starts. For the last spot, there are a lot of decks with similar results, but let's finish off with Highlander Hunter. Again, this is quite the expensive list, since you run 30 unique cards and 7 of those are legendaries, but the deck is strong. It runs the secret package and you can thin out your deck quite nicely with Subject 9. You're full of reactive cards and it's hard for you to run out of gas as well. Bran and Zephyrus are the 2 reasons you run no duplicates in your deck, and the rewards from them are quite nice. And when all else fails, Zul'jin comes in for the final push. For the matchups, token decks are your worst enemies, and Quest Paladin ain't no picnic either, but other than that, you are well in the green. For the mulligan, you always keep your Secret Keeper, a Snake Trap or a Rat Trap, and Zephyrus. You can also keep a Bow, Hyena Alpha, and maybe even a Subject 9, if you already have something to play before that. It doesn't really matter what you keep, as long as you have something to play early on, and don't fall back too hard. Can't say it's too good of an idea to craft this one either, unless you have most of the cards of course. It's not easy to pilot, and it's expensive, so you decide if that would be worth it for you. As I said in the beginning, it's probably best to save your dust for now, since the meta is still way too violent to make any long-term commitments. Just stick to some of your powerful decks from last expansion if you can, and wait till things settle a bit more, before you start crafting too much. I have seen Token Druids, Warlock Shamans and Mech Hunters going really high in the Brawlasium, so those would be great options for you while you wait for the meta to settle. I am going to play some of these new expensive decks live on stream tonight, so if you want to see them in action, drop by and check me out at twitch.tv/Chrisl5. Anyway, that's it for this video guys. Hope this helps you decide in what direction you want to go in the new expansion. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this top 5. I'm Chrisl5, and I'll see you in my next video.